Great day everybody, welcome to Skill Up Dimension. Today we got your first Valorant tutorial on this channel, so if you are going to like it, please hit the like button to I actually know that you like this kind of content and that you want even more Valorant tutorials. And in today's video I'm going to show you Cypher default setups for map Split that are being used by one of the best Cypher players in the world, Gambit Nuts. So let's go for it. Okay, first of all I'm going to show you Cypher default attacker setup for A, as Nuts is going in the majority cases to the A side, even the all other members of the team are going towards the B side or towards the mid. He is almost always going towards the A with all of those utility I'm going to show you right now. So let's check it out what Nuts is using. So first of all, put one trap here. This is actually if he would rotate towards mid or anything else, that nobody can push through A without destroying or catching himself towards this trap. Nextly, he's throwing two cages. Depends, of course. If he has eco, he's not dropping any. If he just have some kind of setup, like decided with team that they are going straight towards the point, he's dropping only one cage. But in default, it's those two cages. So first of all, aim to the middle of those 2 points, so to the middle of this balcony, and just throw the cage. And the second one is to the top of this building. So here, and throw the cage. Nextly, he's throwing camera. On the A side, he has 3 main setups that he is using. First of all is here on this wall. With the simple camera, he can see if somebody is pushing through this mid alley or if somebody is actually watching from the city. The next one is to actually, as he threw the cages, he is running to the front, jumping, and during the jump, he will land the camera on this wall. It looks like this. As you could see, we threw the camera during the fly, so here the camera has best position on the A side, I guess. As you can see the corner, if anybody is pushing, plus the position is pretty well. So yeah, this camera is pretty nice. And third camera that he's using is actually when he's not able to land this camera, so he's using just here default camera towards the wall, to the middle, and from here he has quite a good view towards if anybody pushing, if anybody's ramp or anything else. So yeah, this was the default A setup. As you can see, with this gauge there is actually no gap, so if they want they can go towards the ramp without anybody noticing. Also here, this gauge, there are no gaps, so also if they want they can go towards A side without a ramp player actually noticing. So thanks this setup, he's mainly going like behind the smoke that was there. He's coming, he turning on both of smokes, and then he's coming behind to this corner actually, and nobody saws that he went through. He can even scan it if anybody is pushing or anything else. Next, be aware that when he's going solo A, he's mostly dropping both of the cages. But when he's going with his team, very often he's asking his team where they are going, if they are going ramp or when they are going straight towards the A, and depends on the answer, he is actually turning on only the cage to cover the view of the opponent from the side. Also be aware that Nuts is very often changing the position of his traps, so actually he could not be flanked easily by his opponents. And when they actually going with the team towards the ramp, Nuts often uses this kind of cam that is landing over this entrance to actually he can scan all of these area. If anybody is staying behind the corner, if anybody is staying here or anywhere else. So yeah, this is one of the cameras that he's also using during his attacks. So be aware that he's not always like only land the cam on some position and keeping it there for the all round long. He's often like changing position, reposition it, and doing various things. So this was the default setup on A, push by Nuts actually. So he's using just one trap, 2 cages and camera. When he's coming towards the mid, he's not really using much of his utilities, as he's not going primary on the mid. He mostly uses all his utility on A and then just coming towards mid, so you don't see him very often like throw smokes or anything else. But yeah, if he has like he had eco or anything else and he have one of those cages on spare, he can use it to actually help his team to move around. That is actually another default by Nuts. Like when he has eco or force, he's buying pistol and all of his utilities. But when he has eco, he's actually not dropping out his utilities just like that. He is dropping his utilities only when he sees that they have actually chance to win this round thanks his utilities. So think about it next time when you will use your utilities even during your eco. So as I said, he's not using much of the utilities on the mid. But of course, when he has, he can trap ropes, but I believe Nuts would rather trap like here, so he would catch even if somebody would come from mid, even from ropes. Next we can see him also putting trap here from city with cage also. Not using this trap much often, rather he's using this one and city one. So actually they can't peek him without crossing the trap. Because if he would put this trap here, it's quite dangerous because anybody can already peek in from there and take warrior skills. So he's using this trap, and this trap much rather. Okay, when Nuts is pushing B, he's actually not using much of his utilities as well. The only utility that he's using is actually this trap here. So anybody who would like to go towards the B have to destroy it. As you can see, you cannot just simply jump on those boxes without jumping here, that what would actually activate the trap. Or also if you would like to go just through there, you have to break it or activate. So yeah, he's using only this trap, and all of his rest utilities he is like saving for the later part of the round. On the B, when he's pushing, he sometimes using this kind of cam on this wall or this wall to actually just check if anybody is heaven, under heaven or anything else. And then of course if there is no like sage wall or anything else, he can use his cage to help his team go towards the side. Okay, now let's talk about how Nuts is defending A side. So as there is wall at the start of the round, he's using this trap before the round has even started. And nextly he's using multiple traps here at this area. So by this trap he's covering anybody who would come through main. And here at the main he often uses this trap right close to those buttons. So this trap, which is saving him from anybody who is coming from ramp, from ropes or anything else. But watch out, as soon as Nuts catching anybody successfully, or if he sees that anybody destroying his trap on every round basis, he is changing the position of the trap. So here is the default one that Nuts is using. But if anybody already know about this trap, he is using, for example, the one in the ropes area or one in this entrance as well. So I told you already what kind of traps Nuts is using, but now let's talk about what kind of cams he's using. So one of the cameras that he's using the most is here. So on the like balcony at the A side, you will aim towards this billboard and jump through. And as you can see, the camera has actually landed on the billboard, and from here you can perfectly see if anybody is actually pushing towards the A. Of course, this camera is very often destroyed very quickly, but even this can give you information that anybody is in front of A. Next camera angle that he's using is here on this tower. So as you are staying there, you will just land here camera, and as you can see the main. If anybody is crossing towards the ramp, you can see side, city, or even heaven if anybody is coming. He sometimes uses this kind of cam that he's landing on this wall or even at this wall at the opposite of him. He's hiding and watching towards the main if anybody is coming. Here at the A tower, he's actually using this camera to watch towards the ramp, but of course he's not staying there, he's like hidden here and watching towards the ramp. Or he's also using this camera that is just over the entrance, thanks what he can see anybody that is crossing or who is coming from ramp or anything else. And also he's using this kind of camera that is putting over the ropes like here, and here really not a lot of people is expecting his camera, so he very often have just simply nice view. And if they are going next, don't worry, because he is still safe somewhere behind the corner and they have to still broke the trap. to actually they could go towards him. So yeah, quite nice camera. About the cages, he is dropping only one on A defense, and it is here as here is trap, so he drops also cage here, and when anybody is coming or he needs to use it, he just uses it. But yeah, as you could see, he is using only one cage on the A side, and one he is keeping for the later to the round or when he's, for example, retaking. So when we are talking about retaking, let's say that he's coming towards mid, but here is anybody actually hiding. He sometimes uses this kind of cage. Thanks what, as you can see, we can safely come out and, for example, just pre-fire this corner. And also be aware that as he's coming towards the B side, as he's retaking, he's sometimes using this kind of cage that is landing on the top of those boxes. So as he's like turning it on, as you can see, it's double cage, so he can safely come around and nobody from main can seize him. But also, if he wants, he can drop towards it and like pre-fire anybody if somebody is hiding there, and nextly play, of course, around his cage. When Nuts is defending B side, he's mostly using this simple trap and just cage here at the main. The camera that he's using mostly is here, simply towards the main to actually see if anybody is coming. But also sometimes he's using just here close camera over the box or deep camera towards the back of the garage. And sometimes on the B side he's even using this kind of camera that is just simply over the main entrance, so as he's hidden he can clearly see anything that is happening under him or anybody else who is already pushing through B main. He can also clearly see what is happening on the heaven, so if anybody is pushing, he can simply tag him, and yeah, easy clutch for Nuts. As you could see, one trap and one cage he's using for the B main. The second one he's actually using here at the top at the heaven. So he is mostly using it here over this like box with plant, whatever. So he's landing it here, so anybody who wants to come across have to destroy the trap firstly, or will simply activate it when he's trying to jump over this plant. But with this trap he's actually dropping one cage here. That means when anybody is coming here, he's simply turning it on, and as you can see, they can't see much well the trap, but there is the only gap. That means as he's coming and trying to go around this cage, he will come here, insta catching himself towards the trap. But of course, as soon as opponents know already about this trap, he sometimes changes simply position towards this trap. Sometimes he even putting camera like here over the doors to actually he can be hidden on the side. But thanks this camera he can perfectly see everything what is happening on the heaven. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was default setup of the Nuts on B side. So default cage, default trap, and default cage. Yeah, same as you, I'm quite surprised that this is default setup of Nuts. I watched multiple of his games and I expected that he will use some kind of high and hidden camera, double cages or whatever else. But no, this is simple the default setups which are being used by Nuts, one of the best Cypher player in the world at the moment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for this video. Really hope you found here what you came here for. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button. If you want to know about every new video, hit the subscribe and click on bell as well to be notified every time new video is online. You can also follow us on our socials, or for monthly fee by your choice you can become member of Skiller Squad, what will support this channel in a huge way, and you will receive multiple perks as special reality badges, access to special members only community posts, and all of the members will be thanked to at the end of every new video. Okay, but now it's really all. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and see ya at the next video. Goodbye.